Hi everyone, Amy here with Paper Therapy. Here are some pictures. I'm going to scrapbook me and a friend of mine whose name is Allison, and she's also my hubby's cousin, so friend and family. So I've got these three pictures, and I'm definitely going to have some wood grain because we are sawing wood, as you can probably see in the photos. And I don't get to use pink very much. I think I can pull a little pink out of this orangey sunset. This is a mix-in. This is from the Hope and Kindness cardstock, so all still available. And then I'm going to be pulling in some other colors too. I think I'm going to do some craft color because I'd like to use some of these guys, which are the die cuts. And then I am going to have to find something that has the orange, so that'll probably be the flowered sheet in, well, either this one or this one. I tend towards this side, and it has the pink, so it's more than likely I'll end up using this side. And that's gonna complement, I think, the orange sunset. And I'm gonna tell you the story. It's a pretty funny story. I think you're really gonna enjoy it. So I'm gonna get to work on cutting some papers. I'm not sure if I'm gonna orient these straight across. I think I'm making a funny face in the selfie, so I think I'm gonna definitely try and do some slanty stuff here and see if I can try and make it natural so that I can add some embellishments around the outside. And there's definitely going to need to be a journaling spot here because the story is the fun of these pictures. I'm going to start out on a base sheet of craft paper to start with, and then I'm taking off the branding zip strip here. This sheet of pink, it's got little white triangles on it, is one of the mix-ins from a while back that I got on the last flash sale, but it is still available, I believe, and if it is, everything that's available will be linked. I want a little bit of trim around the whole edge, so I'm just figuring out here how much. I don't want to put the wood paper over top of the pink. I want to preserve some of the pink, so I'm going to just cut it so that it just goes slightly underneath and you won't be able to tell that the pink doesn't go all the way through. So the story behind these photos is that my friend and I were going to a city about an hour away from us, and her husband does construction, so he says, can you go to Home Depot there and pick up this trim? I'm out of, and the one in our city close by us is out of this certain kind of trim and I really need it. So we said sure, and we were in my pickup truck. And then we realized as we get there that, hey, guess what? These trim are too long to stick out of the back. They would stick out of the back of the pickup truck. And I'm thinking, we didn't really have anything to tie them down. So she calls him and he says, well, I only need them in this such and such a length. So we found a store employee and we said to the store employee, could you cut these for us? And they said, well, that's MDF or particle board or whatever, and our saws just wreck it. So it's better if you just cut it by hand. There's a saw there and a cutting station there. You can just cut it yourself by hand. And it was a young guy, and we just kind of looked at each other like we had never heard this before. I've had them cut stuff for me before. And so we were like, I guess we got to cut it. So we got to work. We had something like 40 pieces we had to cut. We're just going to town cutting it. And then about a few minutes after we were done, this older gentleman comes up. He says, if I'd known you'd had that many, I would have cut them for you. And we just laughed. And we sent pictures to my friend's husband and said, hey, like, we want to be paid because this is some pretty hard work that we have to do here. So it was just a really funny little story. I decided that I needed a little bit of an orangey color. So this is an older yellow sunflower, I think, that I'm just putting around the edges to make that paper look kind of orange. And then I add a little bit of brown or gray, whatever I'm distressing with, around the edge too, so that it kind of looks like the paper is that color. you don't really realize that it's a pink piece of paper. So that worked out good for just giving it a little bit of that orange color, which I'm also going to bring in the flowers. At some point I decided that I didn't love the craft paper background, so I brought in some Harbour, and I liked that a lot better. I also wanted to have this little strip be on the top and on the bottom, but I only had one strip because it's from the branding strip from the one little package I got of the mix-ins. So there's only one sheet of each printed paper in the mix-ins. So what I end up doing is cut that little strip in half. And I do this more often when I want more of it. And it's just a design like this that you can cut. Also, as an aside, I popped up the sunset picture. That was a sunset that we saw on the way home. All in all, and it was a pretty fun and good trip. But yeah. So here I am. And unfortunately, I go off the bottom of the screen a little bit, so you can't see what I'm doing very well. But what I do is I make sure I'm up to the line on either side of my cut line. So the 1/4 inch line. And then these trimmers have the little locking in place part that you can lock the arm down. And I never use that, but in this situation, I did use it. And then that helped me stay completely straight. So I have a 1/4 inch little piece on top and bottom instead of just a 1/2 inch. You Make Today Better was an appropriate title because we were just making each other laugh so hard about the fact that there's these two 40-year-old ladies in this store just sawing away on all these pieces. It just was so ridiculous. She came over the other day and I showed her the page and she said, we just reminisced about it. We laughed about how that old man came later on and said, oh, I would have cut those for you if I'd have known there were so many. And we're like, well, why do you think we asked? But it was a different gentleman that we had asked. So it was just a hilarious situation. So now I use this, it's not really a picture of my life card, but it's a cut apart sheet. And I cut the flower from the cut apart sheet out. That's supposed to go on the bottom of that little card. And I had some other flowers I had cut out in a frame from the cut apart sheet, but I didn't end up using them on a different page. So I'm going to use them on this page, tucking them in here and there. So you can't really tell. It looks like there's a whole flower behind there, but you can't really tell that it's just part of one of the little frames on the Hope and Kindness cut apart sheet. And then just because I found that the title didn't have the orange in it. It was some different colors. So I wanted to bring the orange in some of the flowers, which they're the perfect orange. They match great. And the little sprigs are from the die cut sheet, which was on back order forever. And so here's what's really going to make this layout, in my opinion. I'm bringing in my journaling strips, which I have handwritten, and I really want them to be a part of the page, not hidden, not tucked away, but actually like a flow into the page, because the story is really, a lot of times when I scrapbook, my pictures are quite self-explanatory. If I put a title and a few words and a date, it's like we went to this museum or this hike. But this required a little bit more explanation, like why are these two ladies sawing in a store? So when I decided to move some of the journaling up top here, I really liked how that turned out. I liked how the story crossed over the pictures. So they really went together, but I also decided I wanted the journaling to kind of travel from the top left corner down towards the bottom right, or kind of the middle. So I ended up with them kind of staggered going down. These little stars that I found are on the Hope and Kindness die cut sheet too, the craft colored die cut sheet. So I've glued a few of those down as a last little embellishment. And then I found some gold glitter gems and tucked a few here and there, maybe just 3 or 4. And I decided not to do any splatters or anything. I thought it was just busy enough for me. I just really liked how it turned out. I liked the cleanness, and I ended up just leaving those last little guys. Those little gold glitter gems, I think they're called. Just taking a look here and then giving you a look at how my journaling just kind of became part of the decor of the page, which I was pretty excited about. This page telling a story through the pictures and the journaling kind of mixed together. I really appreciate you stopping by my channel and spending some time with me. If you feel so inclined, please hit that like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks, bye.